All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of The Urban Gardener. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. And if you haven't had a chance yet, hit that subscribe button down below. Follow along with more garden adventures as we keep growing here on The Urban Gardener. Today, we're out traveling and we're about to head down to the National Heirloom Expo. So while I'm on the road, I wanted to take this opportunity to get out and go visit a couple of different YouTube channels and see some other gardeners out there. So today, we're out in Vacaville, California, and we're out here to visit Patrice at Patrice's Projects. Let's go say hi to Patrice.
Hello, welcome to Patrice's Projects.
All right, everyone, we're out here in Vacaville, California. We're out visiting with Patrice's Projects. Now, Patrice has a small YouTube channel like ours. She does gardening and other different things here. But we're outside right now, and we're out taking a look at your urban garden you've got here. Growing in the side of your house. You've got a lot of really cool things growing. You're growing a couple of things that I don't grow in my garden. You're growing some sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
So we can take a look at some of your sweet potatoes. And
I also just found that a zucchini down here that needs harvesting, and I have a way of growing the zucchini that's a little bit different.
Oh, excellent.
4 years ago, I got just a regular sweet potato at the store. It was about this big, in fact. It was not a big one. And I put it in a glass of water, grew the slips. I have some videos on that if you want to look in my channel. But these are the same sweet potatoes. Every year I save at least one to grow the slips off of. And so this is actually 7 plants in a row. And I also do deep watering using bottles, and I don't know if you can see any tucked in there, but I have bottles in here, juice bottles, and there's tiny holes further down in them, so it waters deeper in the roots when we're up over 100 degrees. Thankfully, I haven't had to use them in over a week. I also grow them in buckets, which you are very familiar with buckets. And they do really well. This is 2 plants. Normally, I have only done 1, but this is the first 5-gallon bucket I've done. I've done like kitty litter buckets before. And I've gotten more out of a bucket than I do out of my raised beds per plant. But I'm still trying.
So you got a zucchini over here that you want to give us a shot and show us how you grow these things?
Yeah. In fact, if you look in my bed, you really don't see much of a zucchini plant. All you see is a stem sticking out. And what I do, I plant them like 6 inches from the side so they have plenty of room for their roots. And I put a bottle next to them so that I can water them nice and deep. And as they're growing, I will train them, and you see a stick sticking up over here because this plant kept battling me, and I make them go over the edge so that in the autumn I don't have to pull them. We live in such a warm climate here that you'll see. Let me harvest this zucchini down here, and I'll show you. They are still in production. So it's just a gorgeous zucchini. And this is September. Most people have pulled their squash and zucchini plants by now, but these are still doing well. I don't have to pull them because they're not in my way.
So, all right, Patrice, I see that you've got right behind me here some of the things that we really like growing on the Urban Gardener, and that is peppers.
I do have some peppers, not a lot, not like you.
But you do have some really nice plants that you got growing here in the garden. You want to show us a bit of those peppers?
I do. This here. And it's a tall plant. This one does not bush out real well. It's called a New Mex Big Jim chili pepper. And these can grow pretty big. These aren't the biggest ones I've had. That one's pretty nice there. And look at that. This is a medium hot pepper. It's not super hot. It's like between a jalapeno and a sweet pepper. So when they get a little bit bigger than that, you can stuff them. And it would make just a wonderful pepper for stuffing because it adds more than just a sweet bell pepper. It has some heat to it and flavor. They're really tasty. I also have the poblano peppers, and these are still putting on fruit. It's growing right up next to my elephant in the room. My orange Russolini tomato I got from Tim Huffman. He is just an awesome guy. He has a YouTube channel as well. But the poblanos, I don't get a lot of them, but they kind of trickle along, which is really nice. I did get a nice fruit set recently, so you'll see several fruit on it. They're really good. I enjoy those. I thought that was my favorite. I might be getting a little bit closer to that big Jim. I also have, of course, the sweet banana pepper. And then over here I have my Jimmy Nardello. And this particular plant was stuck in a fabric pot for quite a while. It did not do well. It didn't like it. And I moved it into this bed, and you see all the fruit all over it. It's just covered. And this is an excellent sweet pepper. I don't know if you've tried it. It is just, I love the flavor. The sweet peppers, this is my very favorite. And I like that it's a small plant, so you can put it in front of a taller plant. So, I mean, when you have limited space like this, and you know, you see, I only get sun at a very small portion of my entire property. So, small plants that bush out and grow well, yeah, that's what I'm after right there. Tomatillo, not so much. I love the fruit, but they're big.
All right, Patrice, I see that you have this really, really cool keyhole raised bed garden that you've built here, and you've got something going on in there.
I also compost in place. So right up in these two beds that I didn't have enough soil for, I went ahead and started composting. Over here, on this side, you see finished compost. And let me dig down in there. Oh, it's hot in there too. You saw the steam come up?
Oh, yeah.
But that's all nice, rich, finished compost that I'm going to be spreading across those beds. Over here, I just started this pile recently. Let me dig into it. And I have leaves, autumn leaves that I saved, and I have kitchen scraps. You see wood chips in there.
Yeah.
And this is only a little over a week. And look at that. Look how dark that is and how much it's broken down already.
Wow, that's
So,
really nice.
Eggshells, coffee grounds, leaves from my garden. When I trim the cucumber and such like that, it all goes in. And the reason I do it in the bed is when you're doing compost, a pile like this instead of a composter, you're losing a lot of nutrients into the soil. So by composting in my bed, I'm raising the nutrient level inside the soil, and the roots eventually, if it's a good plant, are going to reach all the way down into that. And I've already amended my soil.
So, all right, everyone, we've had a chance here to walk around in Patrice's garden and check out some of the great things that she's got growing in her side garden, hanging out in her back patio here next to one of her other projects, her back shed.
Garden room, excuse me, garden room.
Garden room, sorry, sorry.
I did build this, my own design, and it took me a while, but I am so happy I did it.
Yep, and I think that's one of the great things about your channel. It's not just about gardening. You do other things, you know, Patrice's projects. You know, you come up with a project and you take us through how you're putting that together. I think that's one of the things that makes your channel really cool. Just besides gardening, you're really personable, but then you also bring out some of these other things besides that. Makes it even just a little bit more interesting. So it's been really nice of you to have had us over for you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I enjoy being on here. Yeah, well, the garden beds, I built those myself. So that's one of the builds. This was the big build. I still have yet to post all the videos on it. I only got as far as framing walls on editing, and it got tedious.
Yeah.
I do intend to finish doing it because it's something I'm proud of, and it's something that anyone can do.
Yeah.
I've done this in pain
Yeah.
every day, and
Right.
so it took a while, but I did it. And I also do jewelry, which I'm going to start doing videos on. Cooking, I've done a few videos on.
Okay. So one of the things, Patrice, here I wanted to ask you about, because what we're doing here is cutting out and trying to visit and check out and collaborate with other YouTube gardeners here on the channel. This is something that I'm wanting to do more and more with the channel. And so one of the things I want to do in doing that is kind of find out from other YouTubers who are into gardening and whatnot. What was it that got you into first of all, gardening, and then what got you into the YouTube space and sharing your gardening skills with everybody?
I got into gardening when I was 3 or 4 years old.
Really young. Nice.
My father was military, and we were stationed in North Carolina. And you'll see a lot of channels that you have one, in fact, a garden plot.
Community garden plot.
Community garden plot. We had one. We also had a backyard garden in North Carolina. I'm not sure why we had two. But I loved watching my father work. Men working, I guess.
Right.
But that was the special time when he wasn't at work, that we would spend time together. He was tilling. I watched him till the yard. I loved being in the garden. Anywhere my family was, I wanted to be. Gardening is, to me, family. Yeah, my mom would always have a garden, except at one rental we lived at. I don't remember a garden, but everywhere else we would have a small garden, not even quite as big as mine. And she would grow quite a bit of things. She wasn't great at it, but she loved it. And
Yeah.
I was the one, I would trade anyone chores to pull weeds.
Yes.
I wanted to be outside.
Yeah.
And that's my therapy.
So you had a real natural garden instinct then from
Yeah.
a young age. Really, really like the story about your dad though too, and your connection with that as well. I'm really close to my daughter as well, you know, and it's like to think
Yeah.
that someday that's some of the memories she'll have as well.
My
So-
children are not into gardening.
Yeah,
not
I
one
did-
of them.
My daughter is really, she likes
I-
the garden, but she's not hands-on with it, so that's for sure.
I didn't get back into it regularly. I did it off and on at different places I would live. But the last 5 years, 6 years, I did an in-ground garden, same place, terrible soil. I fought it, I had to quit because it was dead. And I didn't give up.
Don't
The next year I put more amendments. I did pretty good, but every year I'd have to dump so much into that soil, and it ate it up.
yeah.
So that's when we decided to go raise beds, and then my sciatica 4 years ago. I've been in pain every day. So the raised beds are really a godsend, really.
Yeah.
Whoever came up with that, thank you. The soil is, I can work the soil.
Yeah. Raised
So-
beds are really good for that.
Yeah, if I'm older, I'm 55. I don't look it, but I'm 55. I've had 7 kids. I'm in chronic pain all the time. But I can work that soil.
Yeah.
So there's no excuse or reason. If you want to grow something, that you couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So you just have to build your soil.
Yep. That and a few YouTube channels and
Yeah.
videos, and you're on your way. That's for sure.
And that is some of what I wanted to do in having a YouTube channel. I have barriers, you know.
Yeah.
I have pain. I have constant pain, and I can do these things. And I want to show people you're not too old. You're not too crippled. So when I started my channel, I can do so many things. I can build things. I even took courses in college on cabinetry, which I didn't build the cabinet in there, but what's funny is the length of this building is based on a cabinet that I scavenged. You saw in the whole
yeah.
back wall has a cabinet all the way across. And I found that, and I said, okay, this is how long plus 4 inches
Right.
interior space. That's how long it has to be, because I wanted to make sure I had enough room at the ends for error, lots of
Right.
error. So my medication is the garden,
Yes.
and it's the building. And it's the crafts. It's the, what keeps me going on a lot of this is YouTube.
YouTube, yes.
Yeah. If I didn't have a YouTube channel, my garden wouldn't look that good, even though it's in the front yard, because I'm sharing it with the world, or trying to.
Right.
And
it just keeps you on your toes.
For smaller channels like us, encouraging each other too. That helps a lot.
Yep.
With keeping us going and our channels growing.
So what was it that really inspired you ultimately to turn the camera on yourself? Start sharing those projects with people?
It keeps me going. It keeps, with my depression that I suffer, it keeps me moving forward.
Right.
Because I don't want my channel, there's been times where I didn't post anything, not that I didn't record anything. I didn't post anything for months before. And what kept me going with the recording though was I knew I wanted to. I knew I wanted to share because I have so much, I hate to say it, talent in so many areas.
Right.
And I like to connect with people.
Yeah.
And just the people that walk by my garden, that's good and well, but I want to share with everyone.
The wider, more interested audience that's out
right.
there.
People are looking for that kind of content. That's what I'm after, is to be able to help someone, teach someone. There's a lot of things I don't know how to do, and YouTube is a very useful resource. I look at it, and I ask people to help me on my own channel.
Exactly, and that's one of the things too, same here with the Urban Gardener. I'm not a garden teacher. And that's one of the things I like to express to people. I'm not a teacher, I'm a garden learner.
Yeah.
And I'm out on this garden adventure and sharing it with everybody else, and there's some things that I do know, and I do have some knowledge to be able to share with people. And in a similar type experience for me, it is neighbors and people who would ask me questions a lot about what I'm doing in the garden that made me think, I watch and I learn a lot of this stuff from all these other YouTube videos and YouTube gardeners out there, but I get a lot of people really interested in what I'm doing and what I have to share. So let's put videos together and let's share that with other people. And it's been just a really, really great experience.
It has been for me too. I'm not even nearly as big as you, but it's been a real positive experience to have a channel and to be able to share with people, have people connect with me. We have a common subscriber named Nancy.
Nancy.
And
Hi, Nancy.
she is the most supportive and sweet person.
Absolutely.
And I knew her probably before I started my YouTube channel, because we follow Ray's channel. And so we would respond to each other's posts. I'm pretty sure I was talking to Nancy before I had a channel, and I'm pretty sure she was one of my very first subscribers other than my own family.
She was definitely one of my very first real supporters, a really strong YouTube supporter.
Yeah.
And one thing I'm going to say,
people
just
like
for a
that.
shout out to Nancy, just because she is a common subscriber of ours, she needs to do YouTube videos of her own, because if you've ever seen pictures of her garden, she's an amazing gardener. Amazing gardener.
She is.
I've been trying to encourage her to get it out there and do more of that stuff.
And she loves taking the ideas that we share and implementing them in her garden to see if it does well for her. And that's really inspiring to have subscribers like that. We inspire people as creators. But we also are inspired by our subscribers.
That's right, absolutely. It takes such wonderful people like yourselves who are watching this channel right now and watching this video here, who really help make what we do as small YouTube gardeners really, really worth it, because the interaction really, really is important.
It is.
I got into all of this YouTube, and a lot of my skills in gardening have grown through the community of gardening that's on social media, through Facebooks and Facebook groups and all that sort of stuff, And
there's a pepper community.
There's large pumpkin growing communities. There's
there's
almost anything going on that you really enjoy. There's some sort of community going on out there, and that's one of the things that makes this sort of thing really important to do, is to really connect, because if you're going to be doing this, you might as well be you know, out there trying to really make those really good connections. And that's why I really want to thank you so much for inviting us out here to check out your
Well, I appreciate
garden
you
and all
coming
that.
out. It's been really fun. I enjoyed sharing everything that I'm doing with you, because we do have very different gardening styles and what we are growing.
Yep.
So
for all the similarities we have a bunch of different
Yeah, we
things that
do.
are going on, which makes it even more fascinating. We all have something a little different to teach each other in that sort of aspect. So, all right, everybody, I want to thank you all so much for joining us today on this episode here with Patrice and Patrice's projects. It's been really fun getting to see her gardens here. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything at all, you know, hit me up in that comment section down below. And give this video a big thumbs up for Patrice and her YouTube channel and joining us today. And don't forget, hit the subscribe button down below. Follow along with more garden adventures as we continue growing here on The Urban Gardener, and we will see you again on the next episode.
bye.
At Patrice's, there we go, first edit, right off the bat. Alrighty, all right, this is where we're gonna have fun. This is where we probably find some edits for sure.
I look a lot shorter than you right now.
Oh, wow. I
Yeah.
look tall.
Yeah.
Yes! So, all right, Patrice.
Hold on, I was doing the glasses thing. Okay.
Me just jumping right into it all. Okay. As well, that just the connection of that soil and your fingers and
A monarch.
Oh, we got ourselves a monarch.
Right here. Sorry. But you don't get a monarch sighting very often.
I don't have so many good outtakes. on
Twice
this
more,
one,
I don't
but
know.
I think that first one was pretty good,
Yeah.
man. Let's just give it up.
Okay.
It was good. I got to give it up.